Right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the latest edition of Beneath the Bib, the YouTube channel dedicated to members of the 40 Runs running community. And I'm really pleased to be talking to Dennis this afternoon. Hi, Dennis, how are you?
I'm good, Al. Lovely to see you.
Yeah, I've promised Wilco. First of all, bit of a disclaimer. I've promised Wilco I won't talk about Spurs, but having said that, I think you are one of the few people I know that are old enough to remember when Spurs last won the league. But I said I
No,
wouldn't
no,
talk about that. Is that right?
no,
No
no, no, no,
Spurs. Okay.
no, no, no. Just carry on. No, carry on.
So, so Dennis, what you been up to?
I've just been for a been to gym this morning. How do we call
Have
it?
you?
Did my speed session. I've knocked it back a bit this week. I was been really tired. Sunday I did Pilates last Thursday. Woke up Friday morning. My quads were quite tight, but
Yeah.
I've had the last 3 weeks I've had two races. Upping my mileage back up to. I like to stick to around about 30 miles a week. So I've been
Right.
increasing whatever. It's about 30 miles a week, and it seemed to get to me a bit on Friday. Then I ran on Sunday, 8-9 miles, and didn't enjoy it. I was tired.
Okay.
So yesterday I went to the gym, just did my upper body on weights and left the legs alone. Been this morning, done 10 times 500. I feel fine. Yeah, legs are fine.
Fantastic.
I tend to do all my sessions on the treadmill now.
Do you? All right. Well, we'll
Mm,
come on to that because
yeah,
one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you is I had a big birthday quite recently, and I'm moving into a new era of my
yeah,
running career, and I look to you for guidance in terms of what can I expect
yeah,
as I move into that elder statesman role in my
yeah,
running career. But before we get there, I just wanted to address one issue.
yeah.
And if you don't mind me asking, can you give us the definitive pronunciation of your surname and explain where it comes from and a little bit about who is the real Dennis, if that's all right?
Yeah, of course I can. Yeah. Basically, you pronounce everyone in this country pronounce it Saranic.
Yeah.
But in my parents are from the former Yugoslavia, as it was back then. Dad was born in 1924. Mum, he passed away 2017. I've still got mum. She was born in 36, so she was 90 in
Okay.
January.
Okay.
Both Serbian they are.
Right. Okay.
So
yeah.
we're actually Serbs now, not Yugoslav.
Yeah.
Obviously during the war, the country split. Dad was a royalist and for the church and everything. He fought on the side of the Chetnik army, which he basically got ousted out of the country. Dad managed to get across to southern Italy, joined up with he escaped from a prisoner of war camp in Pompeii. He
Wow.
never told me much.
Yeah.
Very, very rare. Didn't even realise till a few years. Well, not mum and dad used to go away on holiday, and one year he decided he wanted to go to Sorrento. They always used to go to Spain or Greece.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Mum said on the way back, when we got there, they went to Monte Cassino. We fought at Monte Cassino. Never even told me. They said
Wow.
they said they got the bus to Monte Cassino. Mum said he got
Yeah.
out, walked up. He looked at them. Obviously, it's a big lump, a big hill, and that. Just stood there looking at it. She said he stood there 10, 15 minutes, just looking, turned around, got back on the bus, and went back to Sorrento. Never said
Just
a word.
something.
Never said a
Just
word to
something
her.
he had to do, I guess. Just to put something
A
to bed
bit
or
of closure.
put
The
a
story.
close. Wow.
And he fought up through Italy with the British Army and like a makeshift battalion of Serbs and Poles. And then they got the choice of either going back. Some of them went across the border and got slaughtered, basically.
Yeah.
Dad chose to come to England. They predominantly thought they was all farmers, so a lot of them got sent to Wales. But
Really? Oh, okay.
yeah, but Dad ended up in heard there was more money down the pits, so he ended up round Cannock, Staffordshire way.
So
And
you are Derbyshire born and bred then?
I am, yeah. But
Yeah.
Dad heard about a Serbian girl. See, granddad, my grandma, I never met her. I don't know. Go on. I'll say Mum went to collect some wood up in the hills when she was 6 years of age. The Germans came into the village. She hid with the older women, and they took her mother my grandmother and twin brothers, and she watched from the hillside and being shot, basically.
Oh, God.
So at 6 years of age, she became a mother to the lad Dana, who was 7. So
Wow.
obviously, Grandad lost the whole thing. He managed to find her in the 50s and got her over it, because we've got a bit of a joke with Mum, because she's got like about 2 or 3 birthdays, But I think the reason
She's like
why
proper royalty then.
Yeah, I think the reason why is because if she was under the age of 18, she was still classed as a child.
Yes, yeah.
So they made out that she got no papers, that her birthday was in April, but it's basically in January. So she just came under that. She was still 17, and she joined Grandad.
Easier to get across. Yeah.
Dad came across from Cannock. I had 2 hours in the front room with him, with my mum. Went into the back room with Grandad and I step grandma, and says, "Listen, I want to marry your daughter." And basically, they got married.
Wow. I knew you had an interesting background, but I didn't realize we could host a whole podcast just talking about this. Wow, it's amazing.
Things. Yeah, and there's a massive community.
Yeah.
We moved, obviously. Angela was born over in Cannock, Kensford Way, basically around Tony and Lloyd country, basically.
Oh, okay, yeah.
First time I went there, because I've got godparents who are buried just on the cemetery near the Chase. So when I go see Tony and Lloyd, I always nip in and see my godparents.
Yeah.
It's how put some flowers on the grave and that. But then Dad moved back to Derby with Mum, and was brought up. Well, the street next to the old baseball ground. From my back garden, I could virtually touch it.
Which is my next question. Why are you not a Derby County fan? Because they were good in those days.
This is a long story, and I will explain it. It was just a lad who moved up from London to school, and he was a Spurs fan. And he was getting a bit of bullying and what have you, know what I mean? Thinking, and I said, well, I'm a Spurs fan. I'm a Spurs fan now. But I watched all the great days. I saw all the 70s games. Derby win the league twice, and we used to climb over. As kids, we used to play football behind the baseball ground every Sunday, 2:00. Soon as start soccer finished, down to the baseball ground, a kickabout. And if the ball went over into the factory next to it, we found a way of climbing up the lamppost over. Then you could get into the baseball ground. So we always just like sneak in and stuff. It's like it's a different world.
It's those sliding door moments, isn't it? If your friend had been a Man United fan or a Liverpool fan or a Forest fan, had been bullied, you might have had a lot more success in your footballing career.
Yeah, hold on a minute.
But you have to be a Spurs fan, and there you go.
I'll take
it. Life is ruined forevermore. Yeah. Anyway, we weren't here to talk about Spurs, because I promised we'll go.
It was a fantastic. I mean, the street was made up. It was so multicultural. You know what I mean? There was Serbs, there was Irish, there was West Indians, there was there was Pakistanis, there was and Hungarians, and it was brilliant. It's like the doors were open. You've heard these stories where doors are open, you just walk in and out, and you did.
Yep.
Just families just helped each other, and I loved my childhood. I loved it. We left there. We left there in '77 and moved to Halverston, where I live in Derby now. But every time you see them, when I went back to Australia, I saw one of the lads, Neil. I've not seen him for 42 years. It's as if I saw him yesterday.
Yeah, just good mates forevermore.
That's what the street gave to you. You know what I mean? For the friendships.
Yeah. So you've touched on your footballing career. Was you sporting as a kid and did lots of other sports?
Yeah, I love football. I played cricket, things like that, but dabble with athletics when it was athletic season, obviously when football finished. But during the winter, when football was off, our football was Friday. I think it was Friday afternoon. So we got on the buses down to the local park where the pitches, and Friday afternoon was football. When it was called off, it was cross country.
Yeah,
I used to just go home. I used to have my London walk. I used to go home. After the second time I get in the slipper, went back to school on Monday in the office, slipper. Mr. Ullman realised, he said, "This ain't going to work, is it?" I says, "No." I said, "Just don't like doing it. I don't want to do it. I don't like running." Irrespective as kids, we was always running around the streets. It was running. We played games where you chased each other running around. But for some reason, if it wasn't football, it wasn't going to be anything else. So I played football up to the age into my, what you call it, into my 20s and whatever you like. I stopped for quite a bit and then started again. And then for a team, I played with them for 10 years or so, then moved on to another one. But when I was around about 28, I just had enough. Stubborn again, see, backing other people up. The manager, like, you know, like Sunday mornings, everyone been out Saturday night. It was a gamble who was going to turn up Sunday mornings. And then the week after, you got lads who turned up every week in, week out, never got a shirt, never got a game. They played one week. The week after, when the other lads came back, and he just turned around and said, "Well, listen, the lads are back now. You ain't even got a game." So I said to him, I said, "Well, here you go. Then they can have my shirt."
And is that when your running career took off then?
That's when it took off. I dabbled in it early. The first medal I can find, Mum gave it me in 1983. It was the Geordie Run, which was the Great North Runners in them days.
Was that a precursor to Great North Run? Then? Was that what it was called?
It was called the Geordie Run, and then it went to, I think it was Geordie Run for about 3 years or so. Then it went into the Great North, and then I did it again in 2023. So 40 years later, I actually ran the Great North, different course.
Yeah.
It was round the city centre basically. Yeah, and I can remember coming down that dual carriageway, down towards the finish into the city centre. But apart from that, it's obviously completely changed now. So I did dabble in the 80s, 86, the Ramathon, as they call it, the Ramathon and the half. They ran together. That started up in Derby. That was massive. I didn't run the first year. Went down to watch because it was the first time ever that there was an all-day bar. So just went down to watch my mates running. I was in the bar all day. It was great. But
some things don't change. Then I'm just going to hashtag Fordy abroady.
Yeah, what a weekend! Yeah, and then the back end of what you call it, the 80s. Like I say, when I just said I ain't playing again, and that was it. I woke up the following weekend to go and play football. I sat here in my house and thinking, what am I going to do now? So I thought, well, go on. The only thing you can do, you've had a go at running and try again.
Go back and see, because your profile picture on some of your social media, if I'm right, has you. Is it finishing the 1991 London Marathon?
I don't know if that was 90. I did 90. I did 88, 89.
Okay.
I did 91, 2, 3, and 4.
Wow. Right.
But I'll come on to them. But how we got into London then? But three of them was through the club. Through a club, we had 3 club places. There's only 2 of us who like to do marathons. So if I wanted one,
okay.
Yeah.
So it was wanted one. Pretty much just turn up and put your name in the hat and off you go.
Yeah, but before that, you went down to the post office, you filled a form in, you had to attach it. Yeah, you had to attach. I think it's a coin for a stamp to. Yeah, it's like a stamp to assembly to send it back, and just put a postal order in there, and away it went. And next thing you got London.
Can you remember how much that was? Because I think I remember that process because I had a couple of mates run the very first.
Yeah, I think it's about 12, 15 quid, something like that.
Wow.
Some
races are still that, but yeah. I think New York, I was just told I was going to be charged $331 if I got a ballot place. Luckily I didn't, so I'm going with Sports Tours instead and paying $5,000. Way.
Same as me.
So what was it like back in those days in terms, it must have felt and been very different experience kind of turning up for some of those big races?
It was strange. It was a totally different atmosphere to what it is now. Even just basically like being friendly. Everyone was so competitive. Clubs never spoke to clubs because they thought you was poaching their best runners. And it did happen in Derby. There was a club startup called Amiga Racing, and they just basically went round clubs and listen, offer the best runners thingy, to go, to go and join Amiga, this exclusive out racing team. We ain't got a clue, Al. I've got what you call it. I've got here next to me. I've got training logs. It was a lot. It was a guess. A lot. Stopwatches. It was only a little Casio bought out the first stopwatch, but that's basically all it was. A stopwatch. Some of us had them. Some didn't have them. So 9 times out of 10, you used to leave the house, look at the thing, 10 to 6 at night, and then when you came back at 10 to 7, 7:30, roughly try and guess how many miles you think you've done.
So if you had a digital Seiko, you were kind of really smashing it, were you?
Well, I've never seen one of them. Never seen one of them until like in the 90s. But Casio was the first thing that came out. There was nothing. It was guesswork. A lot of it was guesswork. We just ran. But in them days, because
was that? I was going to say better, but was it more refreshing to have that attitude, because we can get a little bit overworked with stats and
Yeah,
data and pace, and we kind of beat ourselves up because
yeah,
we're 13 seconds slower today.
yeah,
Was it
massively,
just
massively.
empowering to be able to run like that?
Yeah, massively, because you knew your pace. You knew
Yeah,
your pace was like so bang on. And,
yeah.
and a lot of people say to me now, how comes your pace? If you look at your paces all the time, it's just like you taught yourself. That's how you know
So there you go. You learned to run to feel, and you learned
to
to
feel
run to
all the
your
time.
pace. Yeah,
I've not got a clue. I'm not even. I look into a lot of things now. Through YouTube, I can find anything out.
yeah,
But I never ever looked into heart rate and running to zones and what have you like. I've always ran to feel,
yeah.
and that's the way I've always done it.
Okay.
I actually
Yeah,
know. I'm not saying it's what you call it. It's better, it's right or wrong, but it works for me. So why
yeah.
change it?
Yeah, strip it all back, go back
Yeah,
to the essentials,
yeah.
run to how your body feels, and you're running to the best ability for Dennis, aren't you then,
Yes,
rather
it's
than
true. It's
someone else's
100%
training
true.
plan?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, fueling and what have you. I mean, you used to go out on your long runs. You never had water. You had nothing to carry. You didn't carry water. And I actually asked one of the main doctors, nutritionists from Morton. I went on a Steve Cram one of these retreat things,
Yeah, yeah.
and I said to him, I says, how comes in our day we ran without gels and stuff like that? And what he thinks that we did, we taught our bodies to
Yeah.
use the carbs off your fat stores. He says
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
probably
yeah.
what you
Yeah.
did. He
Yeah.
says you taught your bodies, you trained your bodies, and I did actually pay the price, because I did actually the other day. I said to Nan, one big regret and one massive regret I have probably got in my running. Well, my career ain't over yet. I'm still going.
Absolutely, Dennis. You've still got all the masters to look forward
Yeah,
to. Come
I went.
on.
I went to what do you call it. I went to Abingdon. Um, I ran my best marathon the year before. Then I went back the year after, and I can remember coming up to 24 miles. It was coming up to 24 miles, and there was four of us together. And I was talking virtually as if I'm talking to you now. I says to the lads, listen, the last water stop's just beyond 24 miles.
Yeah.
Let's if anyone wants to. And this chap looked at his watch, and he says to us, right, listen, we're on for 2:48. Let's keep going. I grabbed a drink of water, and the next thing I can know, I was on the ground. I ate the wall.
And this is a marathon. This isn't
Yeah,
2:48 for a half. This is when you were
that
kind of
was
smashing out
yeah, that was for the
2:48 for a
marathon.
marathon. Wow.
So for the last 2 miles, it took me. I got in 3:36 in the end. So for two miles, it took me 48 minutes.
Okay, let's skip over that. You should have
Yeah.
entered the LA marathon. Did you hear about that? Where you could
Ah,
finish at mile 18
yeah,
and
yeah.
take your medal home. Should have
Yeah,
done that, mate.
we ain't finished a marathon, have you? But yeah, but
Wow.
what I'm saying is, Al, after that,
Yeah.
I never did a marathon again. It
Did
frightened
you?
me.
Right. Put you off
It
that
frightened me.
much. Frightened you.
So what I should have done
Yeah.
is known damn well that I got to 2:48 at 24 and built on that,
Yeah.
which I never did.
Mm.
And that's probably one thing that I probably regret a lot. You know what I mean? And thinking like, and I think it's just natural with us. I think it's that inbuilt security thing that even nowadays you go to races, and I don't think 9 times out of 10 I don't think we give it full on. I think we play safe a lot of times.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and you know
I think I would faint if I ever got to 2:48 at 24 miles. I think I'd faint out of shock. So yeah, I probably
Yeah.
probably
That's why
with you on
I
that
know
one.
I know we always use Ben, but yeah, the days we all laughed at it and what have you like, where 40 came on and says, we actually wrecked Ben.
Mm.
But Ben got to a place where he knew he could get to it, and he built on that.
Yeah.
That was his starting point. Where he wrecked himself was his starting point.
Yeah.
And he just moved on from then, with the help of Chris coaching him as well. And I think a lot of us tend to forget that, and just play safe. But we're not all competitive, are we? You know what I mean? That's so,
No. No. Do I dare ask about shoes back in the 80s and 90s?
Oh God,
Did
yeah,
you
yeah.
just turn up
Choice.
in your Stan Smith,
No, there was what you call
Puma,
it.
whatever?
There was high tech silver shadows. There
You haven't got
was
him.
squash
Please tell me you've
shoes, I
got
think.
some in the cupboard. Go,
No, we
please
haven't.
tell me you. Oh,
No, I haven't. There was like there was silver, but there was a squash shoe. you used to go into the sports shop and you had a choice of probably 3 shoes,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
not a full wall.
Yeah.
And then they came on a little bit into the 90s, ASICS, and then Nike, and then one of the top runners in Derby. I spoke to him in the gym the other day, and he says, "Can you remember the shoes we used to race in? We was told to race in the flattest shoes with next to nothing
Yes.
on them,
Yeah.
and you couldn't walk for 3 weeks after. That's why you can only do 1 marathon a year in them days.
Right. I
Your
wondered
legs
about,
were battered. Your legs were
that's
battered.
kind of why. Yeah. You just didn't have all that science and foam and support and
And
whatever.
recovery and everything. You just never had it. It was like you were on those, joking apart, you'd be going up and down the stairs backwards.
Okay. So I don't think you can answer this question, but I'm going to answer it anyway. Your friends and your running club at their peak in today's kit, how much faster do you think they might have been? You know, if you're talking about 2:48 and you were running in plimsolls, you know, how could you have been with all this science and tech and support that now sits around running?
You've got to think 15 minutes, haven't you? I'd have thought 15 minutes off your marathon time, 10 to 15 off your marathon time must be easily. Wow. You know, moving on, because I did stop actually running in 2003. My last in 2003, Lorna was running a 10K. I'd actually stopped before then. We had Joe and work and 3 shifts and stuff. You know, that just took over, and I just stopped running and I used to do a lot of walking. I still do a lot of walking, and hence the map behind me. But what you call it? I ran with Lorna. She did the Derby 10K in 2003, and then the next time I was on the start line was the ASICS 10K in 2021.
So how many years was that? How many? I'm just trying to do the mental maths.
Yeah, it's 2023, thingy 21. It was like, I think 18 years, 17, 18 years.
You had just a little break, kind of just.
Yeah.
You didn't miss it then? You never kind of just walked away and kind of shrugged?
Yeah, I just did other things. I just went out walking. I did what you call it. When I retired in 2018, I finished when I was 57. I went to the gym, and the gym, my gym was always outdoors. I joined the local David Lloyd club. You got so many PT sessions free, and the first thing she said, "What do you want to do?" And I says, "Well, I'll tell you what. There's next April. There's a Derby 10K. I want to run round and honour it in honour of." He wasn't a coach. He was my friend. Pete came 49th in the London Marathon one year. You know what I mean?
Wow, top 50.
He was just an awesome. He was an awesome runner. Pete was, but he was your friend. So you know, he'd run with you in the afternoon or whenever, whichever shift you was on. He'd run twice a day, and I just wanted. Pete passed away from cancer, and I just wanted to run around the Derby 10K.
Okay.
What bother about anything, and just think of Pete, like like an idiot, running, thinking I could run as fast as thingy, adding miles on, going a bit faster, everything locked up, hamstrings, glutes, quads. So I never even got. It was the week before. I never even got to start line. Never ran it.
Did you not? Oh, okay.
No,
right.
Never ran it. That was 2019. Joined the club that I'm with now in 2020, end of January 2020. 5 club nights into lockdown. We went into lockdown, didn't we? In 2020. Still undecided but I used to go out just to get me out. And then I went on another running retreat down in Rye in Sussex. Is it Sussex? Yeah, Sussex.
Yeah, Rye's down in Sussex. Yeah.
Yeah, I went to Rye with a husband and wife, Sam Murphy, her name. She writes for the Runners World quite a bit. Her and her husband Jeff, fantastic people. Went with them, and we got a little goodie bag when we got there, and there was a gel there. And I thought, blimey, what's
this?
What's this? And you had like an half an hour session with them before. What your aspiration? What you come for? What thingy? And basically, I went through my times, and Jeff basically said to me, "So, well, I no need to talk to you about running the day." I said, "But why are you actually here?" I says, "Nutrition, stuff like that. I haven't got a clue. I've not got a clue." I said, "You've put a gel in that thing. I ain't even got a clue what how do you take it? What's you do?
For? Yeah. Do you rub it in?
You
wouldn't know, would you?
No.
What do I do with this? To put it on my head? Rub it in my arms? I know you eat it.
that weekend, because they had their own chef there. This woman came and cooked for us. Oh, some of the food I ate. It's like, honest, Al, it was unbelievable. The food was, because they always say, "Oh, you got to eat properly," but
Yes.
What does that what does that actually mean?
Yeah. No. No.
And I went through
So
that, and yeah.
yeah. So I knew you'd had a break. I hadn't realised you'd had such a long break, and I didn't realise it was kind of COVID and that period that you've come back to the fore. So in this new phase of your running journey, kind of what have you kind of learned, and what advice can you give to some of us that are jokingly getting a little bit older and perhaps finding it a little bit tougher, or seeing our paces fall off and cursing age and stuff like that? You've been there, you've kind of had that break, you've come out the other side, you're still smashing times I'd die for. So give us all a little bit of advice about your training, about recovery. We've talked a little bit about nutrition. How do you do it differently now, bearing in mind you're an elder statesman?
I've got time now. We've been retired. There's one of the biggest things in issues is recovery.
Okay.
I tend to get everything done in the morning. Lorna's at work if she's not working from home. So basically, I go and have a granddad nap on the settee. It's like, I've got so much time to put my legs up, read my books, fall asleep, whatever. Yeah. So recovery is massive. For me, recovery is massive. Same again.
And that can be hard. Let's be fair. That can be hard if you've got a young family or you're working long hours.
Yeah.
You prioritize your run, and then trying to find some recovery time is impossible. So
it's true. Yeah. You're rushing here, rushing there, doing everything. But I went through that back in the 80s, 90s, working 3 shifts, doing what you call it. Same again. You was on it all the time, on your feet all day. It was a manual job I was on, so I was on my feet all day.
Yeah.
But now the older you get, obviously you need to think it. Same again, nutrition. I spent a fortune. I spent not a fortune. I spent a lot of money to get things right. I say to some of the youngers at the club now, it's took me a couple of 3 years, spending a lot of money, trying things, because you can go on YouTube, you can think I'm a geek. I go on there, listen, try things. But I know now exactly what works for me, what gels work for me, what I do in the morning exactly. I'll get up in the morning. I get up in the morning now, for a race. 9 times out of 10, it's a bit of porridge. If it's a half or a marathon, it's porridge. If it's what you call it, if it's a 10K, I'll just have a couple of slices of toast and jam or something simple like that. An hour before, I'll have I use a drink called Bix hydration. I have a Bix hydration. Have that. It's an electrolyte drink. I'll be sipping water. Half an hour before, only because of last year, I started these with the salt sticks. Ask for Ben's advice. I've been using the salt sticks. So I'll have a salt stick and I'll have a caffeine gel half an hour before, even on a 10K.
Yeah.
Because it only takes about 45 minutes to get into your system. So on a 10K, it's perfect, really. Gets into your system halfway through your 10K. Obviously on halves, I'll take a couple of 3 gels with me, and obviously on marathons, quite a few more.
Stock up. Yeah.
But it's like I say, it's actually knowing now. It's knowing when I get up. I've got Derby 10K this Sunday. I'll get up Sunday morning. I know exactly what I'm going to do.
Cool. So you've got that.
I know it works for me.
You've got that routine. What works.
But it did take me. It did cost me to get to that point, because I got no idea. I've got no idea what these grams and things. And now people are talking about in marathons that we think we've been under fueling, so they're taking. Whereas before they tended to say 60 grams of carb per hour. Now they're looking like 80 to 100. Some people are taking a lot more. And be interesting to find out.
We started this conversation talking about your gym routine. So how important has that been to you as an older runner?
Yeah, massive. I started that last January, and it paid dividends. The back end of the year, it must took about 10 months. I do what you call it. I do a yoga class as well, and I've been doing.
So you can get your leg behind you. Is that what you're saying?
You're joking? Oh, I got no chance.
Asking.
I got no chance. I tell you, some of the old dears in there, like Jesus. They put me to shame. It's like they're amazing.
Let's move on then. Move on.
Some people, yeah. But that's always worked for me. You know what I mean? Keeping the stretching side. So touch wood. I've never really had no major injuries, no major problems, no major knee issues.
Well, you had 20 years when you didn't run. You can't get injured if you're on the.
Is that what it was?
Is that what it was? Do you
So,
run for 20 years? Of course, she wasn't injured.
yeah. So the knees and everything's like, you know, I feel good.
Good. That's the main
It's just
thing.
niggles. I get you get everyone gets the odd niggle and that, but the gym side of it, I mean, towards the back end of last year, the 10K Vitality 10K, Valencia half, and the Derby 10. I'd the three of my fastest times since I've come back to running. I'll never get them times I did years ago. You know, I've never no chance of that. But the three fastest times that I've come, and I put that down to probably the gym work. Plus, I found somebody on the YouTube I follow. I really like the bloke. Really simplifies things, and his philosophy, the way he talks, is like, I don't know, it's just quite inspiring. You know what I mean? He's a chap called Lee Grantham. I think he lives out in Thailand way, but the way he breaks things down and simplifies things, he doesn't overcomplicate your sessions and things. You know, you can read through these plans, Alan, and there's like 6 times 3 minutes, 10 times 400s the week after.
You kind of going, I can't even work it. Why
am I doing them? No one explains why am I doing 6 times 3, or why am I doing 10 times 4, why am I doing thingy? He simplifies things, you know. It's and I started July, August time doing his sessions, which I went on earlier. I do all my sessions on the treadmill. I do it.
Right.
It's I find it's controlled. Everything's controlled.
Yes. Yeah.
You set your speed.
Yeah.
Everything's
controlled.
controlled.
The pace.
Everything's there. You know, I'm not weather conditions or anything. And I find it a lot easier. I do like it.
And I think that's key, isn't it? You know, it's very easy to set ourselves these challenges, whether it's 10Ks, halves, or whatever, and then get disillusioned when things don't work or they stop being fun. And it sounds like you've found a way of keeping it fun, keeping it interesting. And, you know, you're right, you've got the time, and that's a privilege that hopefully we all get, you know, later on in life to concentrate on our running. But you're clearly doing a lot of things right, because, you know, I still look at your times and go, I can't wait to hit those times. So, you are literally, you know, one of my role models, Dennis, and I don't say that lightly. So a couple of things before we finish. If you used to watch the YouTube channel, I used to do something called the lightning round. So I kind of sprinkle a few questions in for you guys. You can't get them wrong because there's no wrong answers. So let's try a few. So big half or London Landmarks half marathon? Now I'm dragging you down to London. Which one would you prefer to do?
Landmarks, I think.
Yeah. Is that because the atmosphere? Or the course? You don't mind all those twists and turns?
Well, I've never ran any of them, but everyone's on about everyone's on. Chris always moans about the cobbles, doesn't he, on the thingy? But that was the route of the old London Marathon, because we used to finish. Used to finish on Westminster Bridge. Yeah. And they used to have the carpet down in front of the tower over the cobbles, so that wouldn't bother me. But no, if I had the choice, I think it'd be Landmarks. Yeah.
Okay. Brown sauce or ketchup on your bacon butty?
Oh, brown sauce on bacon.
Is that because
red sauce on sausage?
Right, let's not get into that north-south divide. And you obviously like to be outdoors. You've said that. So if you're trail running, is it thick mud and pouring rain, or is it beautiful sunshine with a little cooling breeze? What would you prefer?
I love the mud. I love the outdoors. I love that. I love the Peak District. I love.
Yeah. Doesn't really matter then. Just bring on the weather. Is that what you're saying?
I've just booked to go to Naples in totally out of my comfort zone with a trail running company. I'm running what they call the Path of the Gods. So we fly to Naples.
That sounds hard.
4 days over the thingy. But I went to Mallorca with them a couple of years ago. Same again, totally out of my comfort zone, but absolutely loved it. You know, and I'm going again in June. So fantastic
sounds
company.
Awesome. Right.
Yeah, so something like that. So I do love the hills and that. I love the valleys. I love the lakes. I love all that, like walking and whatever. Like, so yeah.
So where else might we see you in 2026? What other races might we bump into you and can share a beer with Dennis?
I've always booked the soccer. The soccer is probably my least favourite because of the twists and turns. Yeah, there's that many turn switchbacks, isn't there? But I always do it because the weather 9 times out of 10 is fantastic, isn't it? I mean, the winter 10K this year, I've never been so cold in my life. That was freezing. That was.
You want to be dressed
That,
up in a penguin suit for 4
oh,
hours.
that's all.
Tell me
Yeah.
about cold.
Oh, it was cold. Yeah. So I've got, like I said, I've got Derby 10K this coming up this Sunday.
Yeah.
Um,
You got any super halves left for 2026?
no,
You
all
done it?
done.
Oh, you
Yeah,
done it.
Valencia. Yeah, I finished in Valencia.
Oh, okay. I
That
won't
that
see you then.
that,
You know,
that was a
in
that
Cardiff.
was a that was a downer, you know. And all, you know, when I finished that, it was like met
Yeah.
everyone in the pub after, and they was all going, "Oh, that was my third one, second one." And then I'm sat there thinking, "I've done them. What do I do now?" You know, it was a strange feeling. It was a strange feeling,
Yeah,
like, you
I
know,
can imagine. Yeah.
I couldn't get joined in with their excitement. I've done mine. Mine's finished. What do I do now?
Have you seen the European Marathon Challenge that's now launched?
No, New York's my last one.
Is that it?
I've been what do you
Okay.
call it? I've been I've been what do you call it? Bullied into doing New York. So I'm doing New
Right.
York
Well, we'll make
with the
sure
rest
you
of
go
us.
out with a bang then, Dennis, because there'll be
That's
a
me, my
few of
last one
us.
ever.
40
Last one ever.
abroadies, New York
Um,
2026.
there's
So
quite a few of us. There's quite a few of us going, isn't there?
yeah, there is quite a tour going, I think. So it should be
You know,
should
because
be an experience.
when you look on the events page, there's a lot of people don't actually ticket, do they? You know what I mean?
No, no.
Because
So
I
there'll be
mean,
more than yeah.
I watched Paige's interview yesterday, and Paige's him and Zoe's going as well. Like, and I
Yeah,
didn't even
I've
know
not
that
looked.
I didn't know you was going.
Yeah, I kept it secret. Kind of,
Yeah,
Karen and I will both be running that one. So I've got Brighton in a few weeks, and then a little bit of a downtime for a triathlon, and then seriously on it for a crack at New York in November.
yeah,
So I look forward to sharing a beer, and hopefully some of the people that have viewed this interview, might come up and ask for a photograph and an autograph, Dennis,
yeah,
because you are an inspiration.
yeah,
Honestly say that. It's been a pleasure to talk to you today.
yeah.
I think there's a whole series of a podcast about the life and times of Dennis. I'll pass that on to Hayden and see if
Yeah.
he thinks we can market that. But you're one of my favourite members of the community. You've got loads of stories, and as I said, you're out there still doing it at
Yeah.
whatever age you are. I think it's 66.
66 this year.
Wow. Yeah, it just proves this. You're never too old, and you're never too old to stop. So
Can I just say one thing that
go on then. I'll give you the
before I go?
last word. How about that?
Is, I met up. The first time I met up with the Fordies was at Hell's Bells in 2023 when we went to Ibiza. Never met anybody.
Okay.
Never. And I don't know if you've noticed, but I've noticed even in this short space of time, how the club's completely changed. There's not just, we talk about community a lot and friendly, but now there's true bonds in there, Alan, out there.
Yeah. Friendships.
There's more than a friendship. There's that bond. There's that really close bond with, and I saw a couple of close bonds in Alicante. That thing, and
goes on tour, stays on tour.
Yeah. but I mean, you can tell even the club itself's changed. We've become such a close knit community. I don't like to use community. I think it's more than community. I think it's
I know
more
what you're
family.
saying.
It's not my affiliated club, but I love it. I absolutely love being a Fordy.
Okay. Well,
thank you very much, everybody.
What better way to finish the interview? So thank you, Dennis, and good luck for the rest of 2026. Have a great one, mate.
All the best, mate. Thank you.